What is up, everybody? I finished TRS about 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to speak about it because it's really great knowledge, and it's sad that we only really get most of this knowledge when we get out instead of when we're in, because it applies while we're in as well. Basically, how it works: the first 3 days, you're just learning general knowledge like VA loans, disability compensation, insurance, things when you get out, and then the last 2 days, you get to choose a track. There's 4 tracks. One track being business, the other one being employee, another one education. The one I took is education, and fourth, I forgot what it's called, but it's basically, if you don't know what you want to do, you can go to that, and they guide you to the right direction. I highly recommend taking multiple if you can. Just note that you have to schedule them. You can't do them back to back. Now, a lot of you guys might know this knowledge, but a lot of things changed. So if you went to TRS before, there's probably new things, or even this is a good video for a refresher. We're going to start with the post 9/11. As we all know, it does not expire. The tuition goes straight to your school. You get housing allowance, which depends on where you live. It's up to sergeant with dependents. You can get up to 1K in books, meaning if you only take a set amount of classes, less than 4 to 5, you could get less. But if you take up to 4 to 5 classes, you get 1K. You can apply for the Yellow Ribbon program, which I'll speak about in a bit, and could be transferred to your kids or spouse, but you need to do at least 10 years in service. Now, moving on to the Montgomery, it expires 10 years from when you get out, and as of right now, it expires in 2030. You do not get housing, but you get about $2,100 every month. It will go up every year because of inflation, but that's how you pay for your classes. If you decide that the Montgomery is no longer better for you, and you go to post 9/11 and you bought into Montgomery with the 1,200, if you use all your benefits, you could get your 1,200 back refund. You can switch to post 9/11, but if you have post 9/11, you cannot go to Montgomery. And there's also an active and reserve side, meaning the reserves, they pay up to 400 flat rate, almost 400 a month to get these benefits. Now, you may be wondering which one's better. If your housing is lower in your area than the 2,100, then Montgomery might be better for you. But take note that with the Montgomery, you can take your time and take your classes at your own pace because you're getting the 2,100. But with the post 9/11, if you only take, let's say, 3 classes in the semester, it's still going to take those 4 months, and you only have 36 months. Also, what a lot of people do not know is that you can actually use it for licenses and certificates as well. You don't have to actually go to college. First program I want to speak about is the Yellow Ribbon program. A lot of us do not have to worry about this if our tuition is lower than the 28K they give us if you're using the 9/11. But let's say you want to go to a private school or a very credited school, and for example, the school is 60K, then the post 9/11 will give you 28K, and if you're using up to 100%, meaning you're going to those 4 or 5 classes every semester, the Yellow Ribbon program will give you 50% of your GI Bill, meaning it's, let's say, 14K. That's about 42K, and then the VA loan will actually match the Yellow Ribbon program, so that's another 14K. Now, you can't pocket the extra money, so it's going to cap at 50K, but it's very beneficial. Now, there's 2 questions you should be asking. One, is it only for certain degrees? Like if you want to go for cybersecurity, is it only for medical field? And then the second question is it only for the first or second year? Because if it's a 4-year degree, then you obviously don't want to come out of pocket. So make sure you're paying attention to that. I'm going to show you right now how to find out if your school has the Yellow Ribbon program. First, you're going to go to this website. There is a couple others that tell you a bit of different things, but this one's the simplest one and my favorite. Then when you're on it, just put a school that you want to go to or a state, and everything will pop up on that state or city that you choose. Also note that this also applies to police departments, fire departments, and other programs like that. Then you click on the school that you wanted, and this will pop up. You can click on the actual website itself to learn more about the school, and then it's gonna give you if it's a small size, which is important, meaning if you're more hands-on and you need help from teachers, you kind of want to look for a school that's small and compared to a large school. It's going to tell you if it's a private school or city, if it's a 4-year program, and other things. You can also compare up to 3 schools if you're not sure which one you want to go to. The other things it's going to tell you is how much housing it is in that area, how much is the tuition per year. Also, if there's any cautionary like people complaining, they will tell you what type of complaints there are. For the people who want to get housing, all you have to do is take one class in person and the rest online up to 4. If you take less, then obviously the housing is going to be less. If you want to do straight online, you get up to, I believe, 1,100 per month. Also, one thing to note that a lot of people do not know, let's say your housing is 3K a month and your school doesn't start or your class doesn't start till the 15th of that month, you're only getting 1,500 for that month because it started halfway, not the full 3. Next program is FAFSA. A lot of people already should know what this is, but I'm still going to speak of it for the people who don't because I actually did not. I highly recommend everyone applies. It only took me like 5 minutes, especially if you're going to do school full time. The good thing about this is if your school is less than the 28K you're given yearly, then that means you can actually pocket this money because your VA will pay the school first and the FAFSA check comes in. But basically, it's free tuition money. If we go back to that example, let's say your school is 60K this time, then you could utilize this money for that class or school. Note that it's first come, first serve. And if you're going into a small school, it's going to be a lot less money. So I highly recommend applying as fast as possible. Also, you can send it up to 20 schools. And don't be worried if you don't know what school you want to go to. Just apply, put any school, and you could come back and add more schools if you want. Next program is the Veteran Readiness and Employment. Now, we didn't really touch up too much on this, but what I know is that the only way you can apply for it is if you have 10% of disability or more, and it does not go into your tuition. So if you want to do more than 36 months of school, highly recommend looking at this. It's usually way less than your housing, but if you use it first, they can match your housing. I'm not 100% sure how it works, like I said, but definitely do more research if you're interested in that. Now, Skillbridge, they also really didn't touch up on it, but I want to speak about it because it is a very good program. I highly recommend taking it no matter if you already have a set plan or not because it's always good experience and you never know, you might actually like it and go that route instead. Also, if you were already thinking about going that route, then Skillbridge could definitely help you either one, get a job or realize if you actually want to do that job long term or not. Just note that some may take your GI Bill, and it is a whole process to freaking get into it. And you know how the Marine Corps is slow, so highly recommend trying to get your package way sooner than when the course begins. Now moving on to Vet Tech. The reason why is because it's basically Skillbridge, but it's when you get out the military. But this one does touch your GI Bill no matter what since you're outside of the military. Now we're moving on to CLEP, which is college testing. If you take this test, you can skip a couple classes. You may, it depends on how good your school it is and if they accept it. It is a fee, but if you go to the education center, they'll give you a free voucher and it's free testing. So I highly recommend doing it, even if you suck, because you never know, you might get lucky. Now, let's say school is not for you because you're just not good at it, then this is definitely for you. Pay attention. Apparently, the Navy uses it a lot, but a lot of Marines do not know about it. But basically, the Marine Corps gives you $4,500 yearly to take certificates of your field. So say you like your job and you decide you want to do it outside of the military, you could get certificates which will qualify you for the job a lot faster. Now, let's say, your field of job is not something you want to do, then if you're an NCO, you can actually take other courses with a voucher. But I highly recommend still taking your field courses because you might change your mind when you see that salary outside of the military. A lot of these certs are really expensive outside the military, so highly recommend taking advantage of this. Also, note that these some of these certs or many of these certs expire within like 3 to set X amount of years. So definitely, if you just joined the military, wait a couple years because you don't want to have it for only a couple months when you get out and then it expires. First, you go to this website right here and you hit collateral duty on the top right. Then this will pop up, put in your MOS. And these are all the certificates. Definitely look through them and look at the stickers. As you can see here, every sticker means something. The pepper means high demand, so definitely look into those. If it says low, then that means it's very hard to get. Medium, it's a lot more attainable. And then high, very easy. Some of these, you can use your GI Bill, as you can see. And there's other stickers, definitely look into them. There's a great program. Once again, do some research, take advantage, because a lot of people don't know about this. Here are some very important links that you may use. College Scoreboard will actually tell you about your school, such as like the acceptance rate and how many people actually graduate from that school. So definitely utilize that website as well. Rate My Professor, you can see what how your teacher is before you get them, or if you get to choose what teacher, definitely go in there and see which one's the nicest one. Some schools may require you to take a test. So if you see test practice right here, there's SAT, GMAT, and other ones. Go on the websites and take practice tests. I didn't want to go to school until recently when I found out how many actually benefits there is. I definitely recommend doing it, because if you do everything right, let's say you want to go back home, you can live with your parents and pocket the housing. And, it's just definitely good to have a degree, something cool, especially if you're going to be the first one in family. It would be great. With that being said, that's basically the whole video, guys. Thank you so much. I do apologize for all the background noise, but yeah, take care, guys. Peace.